think I'm gonna fail again on the Berlin half marathon this weekend. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now. My confidence levels have dropped to the ground in the last 2 or 3 months. So today I'm gonna unpack the topic for you. I'm gonna tell you how I'm going about it from a personal and authentic point of view. I haven't asked ChatGPT to write a script for me, don't worry. And hopefully that will be useful or perhaps even inspirational to you. So I've come here to this magnificent fairy tale-like castle surrounded by a lake in the outskirts of Dresden in eastern Germany to do a workout this morning. I will do 3 times 2.5 kilometers, that's 3 loops of the lake at target base, which is a workout I've done several times already in the last couple of months back home, so I can compare and see where I am just 4 days out from the race. So let's go. Okay, I've done 1 loop for warm-up. It's perhaps 30% tarmac and the rest is gravel path with stones, which is not ideal for running fast. Yeah, I've had to take out the t-shirt and the layer of thermal clothing I was wearing, because with the sun shining it's actually not that cold. Okay, let's go, first rep. First rep done at 4:39 per k, average pace. Okay. Okay, second lap around the lake for 41 pace. That's it, done. Third lap was 4:37, 38 perhaps. Okay, at least it was consistent. I didn't fade out too much in the third one. Okay, so let's talk about confidence. So I guess the first thing to do is to identify what makes you feel this lack of confidence. In my case, it's essentially a series of bad workouts in the last 2-3 months. I've seen how my fitness has gotten worse, negative trend. I've been like detraining in a way. Also, I've had a pretty bad half marathon race 10 days ago in Elche, as you might have seen. And yeah, in general, mediocre results ever since the Valencia marathon 4 months ago in December last year. The Valencia 10k was mediocre. Then I had a pretty poor performance in the Verona half marathon in February. And then last week, Elche half marathon. Yeah, okay, it was just for fun, but it was not good. So that's where my confidence is gone. I guess the second thing to do is to find the real reasons why all this happened. In my case, I think one of the most important reasons is that I skipped the gym for like 4 months since the Valencia marathon. So I've lost quite a bit of leg power and also probably core strength. Been doing mostly easy runs and a couple of anaerobic capacity and VO2 max workouts, but not much. So I haven't really followed a consistent plan for the last 2 or 3 months. Also, as you know, I started filming my runs a couple of months ago, and somehow that has caught my full attention, and yeah, I've sort of lost focus on my running. Also, I've had poor sleep, quite a bit of stress, and as a consequence of all that, I think I lost my running form, running technique. I used to be able to hold it pretty well for like 15 or 18 kilometers, but now I struggle to hold it for more than 10-12. My last relevant, decent long run was the Verona half marathon 6 weeks ago. Since then, no continuous long run, not good. And I think I haven't had enough race pace volume either. And finally, I think I've noticed a clear lack of mental toughness during races and even during workouts. Unfortunately, I tend to give up quite easily. Then with all these reasons identified and listed, I guess the third stage is to make some sort of reactivation plan. So let me tell you what I've done so far in the last couple of weeks. I think the most important thing is that I've resumed a little bit of strength training. Not much, but I happen to have a couple of dumbbells at home, so I've been doing some single leg exercises after my runs. I've been focusing a little bit more on recovery. I think I've been able to recover a bit more. It looks like I've also been able to get my heart rate variability at decent levels again. Very important is that on my last 5 or 6 runs I've been refocusing again on my running form. The way my foot hits the ground and having my core engaged and that kind of things. Running technique is not a topic for today, but yeah, I do feel a little bit better about it now. Not to forget, as part of this emergency reactivation plan, I've been able to maintain my weight more or less at where it was 6 months ago when I ran my PB at the Valencia half marathon. So I should be okay. And last but not least, I was able to put down a reasonably good workout last Sunday, so that was 7 days before the race. I did again 4 times 2.5K at race pace, but that time I was able to hold the pace pretty well. I ran at an average pace of 4:34 per kilometer without fading out too much, so that was pretty good. And I think the fourth element in this confidence reconstruction process is to take it 1 week at a time and have a strategy for next week. So in my case, next week is actually this week is race week. So part of my strategy for this week was to do the workout I did this morning, run at a decent pace, not too hard, only 3 repetitions to gain a bit of confidence but not kill myself before the race. So this morning I averaged a pace of 4:40 per K, which is not crazy, but I'll take it. I think it's rather positive than negative, especially given the circumstances. And another part of my strategy for this week is that I'll try something new. I'll try to have 3 full rest days before the race. Usually I only have 1 or 2 full rest days, or not even that. Considering I do quite a lot of tourism. So this time I'll try to have at least 1 full rest day and 2 days of light tourism. And then also I will visualize the pain. Yeah, I will make it my duty this week to visualize the pain I'm likely to be going through at different moments in the race. It's not the same pain you're suffering at kilometer 2, at kilometer 5, 10, 15. So I've been working on that. In fact, I was pretty much thinking about the pain this morning during the workout. So hopefully it shouldn't be a surprise, it shouldn't be a shock to the system on Sunday. So this is my strategy for this week, but yeah, 1 week at a time. It just happens to be race week for me, but I'll continue working on my confidence the week after. Now let's add a 5th element to the process. Let's have a look at the bright side of things. Yeah, on the mental side of things, I think there is something positive to Sunday's race, which is that it is an A race for me. It's been my goal for the last 6 months or so. I've been training for that. I've been traveling, I paid for the trip, I'm committed. So yeah, that should help. Hopefully I'm not gonna give up, and I will fight it. Another rather positive thing is that, in fact, 6 months ago when I ran my half marathon PB, I was not really in a better shape than I am now. I was just coming out from a double Achilles tendonitis, so I hadn't been able to have a good training block either. So in fact that tells me I'm not in such a bad situation right now. And yeah, in general, I think talking about positive things and looking at the bright side of things, I believe it's important that you should know your assets. So in my case, for example, I know that I don't have to worry about gels, about my stomach complaining. I can take any sort of gel, any quantity. I've tried many, no issues. Also, I know that I should be able to hold a relatively decent running form for 10 or 12 kilometers. Yes, it used to be more, but at least I know that, and that's an asset I can count on. Also, I very seldom have stitches, and it's been a long time since I've had any muscle cramps, so I think that's a good asset. And also, I know that a few days of tourism before the race will actually bump me up mentally. And also I know that waking up early enough for the race shouldn't be a problem because I'm used to it. So these are my assets that I can think of right now, but you should find your assets. Like, I don't know, like for example, you could have good support from your family or friends. You can have people running with you. You can even have a pacer, or I don't know. So you could have, for example, a very strong reason to run and achieve your goals. Or you could have especially good knowledge of the course. Or you could also be confident in your endurance, because you know you've done much longer runs than the race. Anyway, make a list of your assets and stand by them. That's a quite interesting story to be told about this building. It was constructed as a tobacco factory, but actually designed as a mosque. So I'm guessing this here is actually not a minaret, but rather a chimney. Anyway, that's not the topic for today. Now let's add a sixth leg to this confidence recovery process. Because I'm thinking it's not just a matter of pushing the confidence up, so to say, but also perhaps removing the pressure from the top, if that makes sense. So in my case, one way to remove the pressure is I'm telling myself that this is, just a hobby. I have nothing to lose. In fact, I'm lucky to be able to do something I like, and even to combine it with another thing I like, which is traveling. In fact, nobody's gonna care if I run a good race or if I beat my PB or whatever, not even my family. In fact, most people don't even know what a half marathon is, and they will just say well done, and that's it. So no pressure. Another trick to remove the pressure is to think that there will always be another race. In fact, in my case, after the Berlin half marathon, I'm thinking about another race and another trip in May. And yet another pressure relief trick that you may argue is not a good one, but I don't care, is to have an excuse prepared. That just relieves the pressure. So in my case, I'm thinking, if I don't perform well, it might be because I'm getting older, I just turned 55, time is playing against me, or whatever, weather, injuries, whatever. And yeah, if I run a bad race, at least I will have enjoyed the holidays, so not all is lost. I guess a good psychologist would say this is like anchoring the bad experience to a positive one. Changing the objective is also another good way to reduce the pressure, and I'm not just talking about changing your race finish time objective, but also changing the focus, let's say, like for example focus on learning the lessons, which is something you have to do actively, because finding the mistakes and identifying your failures is not easy to do. So you need to really focus on that, and that could be an objective, and that could be a way to reduce the pressure. So perhaps while you're thinking about that, you'll end up having a good race. And finally, I found that if I put myself in a situation that is not comparable to other experiences I had in the past, then somehow the loss of confidence is kind of not justified because I have no reference. So, for example, what I will do for the race on Sunday is that I will have 3 rest days, which I've never done before. So that kind of removes the pressure. But you could do other things. Like you could have a different pacing strategy, or you could have a different nutrition or hydration strategy, or carb loading, or you could even start from a different pen. Up to you. Okay, but at the end of the day, confidence is good to have, but it's not the end of the game. Results will depend on many other factors. So okay, I think that's it for today. Wish me luck for Sunday, and in the meantime, if you're gonna run around, remember to look around.